Centralia, the town that's been burning underground for 60 years. Imagine waking up one morning to find that the ground beneath your feet is alive. A fire hidden from sight, yet undeniable in its effects, spreads beneath your home, your streets, and the very town you grew up in. It is silent, invisible in its early stages, yet persistent, relentless, and unstoppable. This is not fiction. This is Centralia, Pennsylvania, a small mining town whose ordinary life was irrevocably changed by a fire burning in the coal seams beneath it for over 60 years. What began as a simple decision to burn trash in a landfill triggered a disaster that has consumed streets, homes, and memories, transforming a once thriving community into a ghost town and a living legend of human oversight and natural persistence. Centralia's story begins in 1866, when the town was founded amid the coal boom in Pennsylvania. Miners and their families settled in the region, drawn by the promise of work and prosperity. Life in Centralia was defined by community, routine, and the rhythm of coal mining. Streets were lined with small houses, children played freely, and shops, churches, and schools were hubs of daily life. Families depended on mining not only for income, but for identity, creating a culture deeply intertwined with the black gold beneath their feet. Beneath the surface, however, lay a vast network of abandoned coal tunnels, remnants of decades of mining. These tunnels were largely forgotten, considered inert and harmless by the townspeople. Yet coal is both fuel and a potential fire hazard, and hidden beneath the town's streets and homes, these abandoned mines held the seeds of disaster. Life continued in Centralia unaware of the threat lurking below. Families went about their daily routines, children attended school, and shops flourished, all above a network of coal veins poised to ignite. The turning point came on May 27, 1962, when the town council decided to burn a landfill of accumulated trash. It was a seemingly routine and practical solution, commonplace at the time. No one suspected the landfill sat atop a labyrinth of abandoned coal tunnels. When the fire reached these tunnels, it ignited the coal seams, initiating a slow, invisible fire that would grow unchecked for decades. At first, residents noticed little: faint smoke, a warm patch of soil, the occasional odd smell. Life continued as usual, and the fire remained largely unnoticed. Within weeks, subtle signs of danger appeared. Cracks opened in streets, smoke drifted from fissures, and heat radiated from areas previously considered solid. Livestock and crops behaved strangely, avoiding the affected ground. Rumours and fears began to circulate, ranging from scientific speculation to superstitious explanations. Yet, many residents underestimated the seriousness of the situation. The fire spread slowly and invisibly through the abandoned tunnels, fueled by coal and air, leaving the town's surface seemingly normal while danger grew beneath. By 1963, the threat became impossible to ignore. Streets buckled, smoke seeped from the ground, and small sinkholes appeared. Residents were forced to confront the possibility that their homes were no longer safe. Children were warned to avoid certain areas, and families began to consider relocation. The town council sought help from state authorities, but understanding the complexity of an underground coal fire exceeded the expertise of most local officials. Efforts to extinguish the fire were attempted but largely failed. Water evaporated before reaching the flames, concrete seals cracked under heat, and trenches designed to contain the fire proved ineffective. The underground blaze continued its relentless advance, consuming tunnels and threatening neighborhoods block by block. Residents faced an impossible choice: stay in the town they loved or abandon it to an invisible, unrelenting threat. Some evacuated voluntarily, selling their homes and relocating. Others resisted, refusing to leave the place that held memories of generations. Schools and shops gradually closed as life in Centralia decayed under the pressure of the fire and the associated hazards. By the mid-1960s, it became clear that the town's foundation was unstable and dangerous, and government intervention was necessary to prevent further disaster. By the 1970s, large-scale buyouts were underway. Families were offered compensation to relocate, and blocks of the town emptied systematically. Streets that had once been full of children's laughter and community gatherings fell silent. Abandoned homes and overgrown yards became the new norm. The few residents who remained lived in constant vigilance, aware that every step could bring them closer to fissures, smoke, or pockets of toxic gas. The fire persisted below, unaffected by human abandonment, moving through the coal seams with slow but unstoppable momentum. Alongside the physical dangers, Centralia developed a reputation for strange phenomena. Fissures opened suddenly, emitting smoke and heat. Glowing patches of earth appeared without warning. Whispering noises, hissing and low groans emanated from the ground. Shadows seemed to flicker and move independently, particularly near smoke vents and fissures. Pets vanished mysteriously, crops failed and trees withered in areas affected by underground heat. Urban legends began to develop, suggesting the fire had a will of its own or that miners' spirits were trapped underground. Visitors reported eerie experiences, feeling watched, hearing strange sounds, or seeing inexplicable lights, and the town became a site of fascination for journalists, explorers, and researchers alike. The cultural impact of Centralia grew as photographs, articles, and documentaries captured the haunting atmosphere of the town. Its streets became symbols of post-apocalyptic landscapes, influencing video games, films, and literature. Silent Hill, one of the most famous horror game series, drew inspiration from Centralia's abandoned streets, smoke-filled fissures, and unnerving ambience. Researchers studied the fire scientifically, mapping its spread, monitoring gas emissions, and estimating its longevity. The fire is predicted to burn for centuries if left unchecked, a persistent reminder of human error and natural persistence. By the 1980s and 1990s, Centralia was largely abandoned. Roads were closed, infrastructure decayed, and only a handful of residents remained, attached to their homes and memories. The fire had transformed the town from a community into a living laboratory of disaster, a cautionary tale, and a cultural icon. The remaining residents experienced isolation, strange noises, heat bursts, and the occasional glowing patch of ground, living with the daily reality of a town consumed by a hidden inferno. Their perseverance became a testament to resilience, memory, and human attachment to place, providing personal insight into the cost of environmental disasters and industrial oversight. Centralia today is both a ghost town and a living lesson. Streets remain warped, fissures smoke, and abandoned houses stand as eerie monuments to the town's history. Scientists continue to study the fire, its behavior, and its environmental impact. The fire releases carbon monoxide and other toxic gases, destabilizes the ground, and creates long-term hazards. Visitors are drawn by curiosity and fascination, often describing the town as haunting, surreal, and unnerving. The town's legacy continues to influence popular culture, scientific research, and environmental policy discussions, illustrating the consequences of human decisions when nature is underestimated or misunderstood. Centralia's story is ultimately one of paradox, tragedy and fascination, danger and resilience, abandonment and enduring human attachment. It warns of the consequences of small, seemingly ordinary decisions, like burning a landfill, when combined with unseen environmental forces. The town demonstrates how a hidden threat can persist for decades, shaping lives, communities, and culture long after its ignition. Centralia remains a living testament to industrial oversight, human attachment to place, and the mysterious, unstoppable power of the natural world. If you want to uncover more forgotten disasters, mysterious towns, and untold stories of human resilience, make sure to subscribe. And tell us, if the ground beneath your home was slowly burning, would you stay or leave everything behind? Centralia reminds us that sometimes the most dangerous things are those we cannot see, and that the consequences of ordinary choices can echo for generations.